And I think we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the GH30D's live edition. I want you guys to know it's live, bitches. And we're talking about General Hospital specifically. But it's going to talk about fandoms and Twitter and all kinds of goodness on here. So you come on if you like. The chat room is open. I'm saying hello. I feel like it's Doubtfire. I don't know why I say that. But my guests, you've seen them before. We were talking about your show on my show today.
Really?
We were saying they watch you.
Okay.
My Daytime Today show, they said they watch 10-4-GH. It's the guy from 10-4-GH who operates the 10th floor. It's Matt.
It's me.
Not Kat, but Matt.
Hey, everybody. It's me, Matt.
Matt. Jakarius is in here. Hello, Jakarius. He is in here.
Oh, hey. I got to navigate to this so I can see the chat as well.
Yeah, go to YouTube, get a chat up so you can see it. While he's doing that, Gwen's in here. So my show is out there. GH30D is our spinoff show of GH Spotlight. That was our spinoff show of GH Report from AfterBuzz TV. I found my AfterBuzz TV cup. This is from 7 years ago. I was cleaning up, and I drank out of this every day for 7 years. I forgot I had one. So, but AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz. Yeah, that AfterBuzz is what my mom started listening to during her commutes when she was working in the Bay Area. 2-hour long commutes each way, and so she would listen to your show, the GH after show or what. Yes. I don't know what it was called in AfterBuzz.
GH Report.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, but so she would what with Carla, I think.
Carla Renata.
Yeah. And so that was her first podcast that she listened to, and from there she found other little fan podcasts, and then she reached, she was like, "This would be fun to do, Matt. We should do this."
And what's so funny is, again, there would be no GH Report without me. I started it 7 years ago with Frank Moran, Lucretia Lyon, and Bladine Harvey. I cast, it was my first show I ever casted and put together myself at AfterBuzz. And we did it. And then I left after 6 years.
Yeah.
And Frank said, "I'm gonna keep it going, and you're under your name." And he brought on Carla Renata, who I had met before I left. And I love Carla. Carla's doing some great stuff right now. She's just a recovery critic. She's busy. She has an interview out with Tom Hanks right now from the new movie Elvis. It's really good. But me and she and I just talked. We talked for like 3 hours the other night. Yeah. I love Carla. And so she's great. So that's how it started. And then I would come on every once in a while, and I'd bombard. Whenever I came on, I was like, "I'm coming on." I just come bombard them.
Yeah.
And the show. So it was kind
of yeah. When you reached out to us on Twitter the first time, Mom was like, "Oh yeah, James from AfterBuzz. Yeah, I know him. He comes on when somebody's not there."
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Me, I'm semi-popular. But no, so I found you guys, and I always see. Here's the thing, folks. I am a huge fan of no competition. I don't think it's competition. Everybody has a different point of view, and folks, which we'll talk about on this show today. Folks love talking about them soaps 24 hours a day. So I don't. So I'm like, please go check them out. Go check out these people and those people and those people. And a lot of times I invite them on our show. And people be shocked, like, wow. I'm like, I don't, it's no big deal. We all have our own personalities. And I think you guys, I always said this before, and I'll say it in public. I'll say it on the live. I'll say it. No, you guys are great because you're mother and son, and I'm very jealous that I don't have that with my mother. So I'm like, that's a perspective we don't have anywhere else. It's very unique. We have best friends and sisters and whatever, but we don't have mother and son talking about General Hospital. So that's
I wouldn't be a soap fan if it wasn't for her. So it's just one long progression. Unfortunately, it didn't land in my sister or my brother. So the next generation is removed. So I got to work on that.
Yes, get somebody hooked on something. Again, old enough. But that's the thing. And now part of this, and Matt is finding this out because I've been doing it. We just celebrated 7 years. I've been doing this portion. I know I can't believe it's 7 years, over 500 episodes, however many episodes it's been crazy. The social media aspect of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting for me is that I was telling him earlier on a text. I've gone through everything from death threats because I like a certain couple. We don't find your family, and I hope they die in a car accident. I had some really rough stuff early on because of them Frizz fans hated me. And you go back on my shows, you can see it. They're huge. I got thousands of views. Read the comments though. They're on my channel and they hate me. The fans love me for some reason. So it's a whole Jason Liz versus Jason Frank. I didn't like Franco and Liz together at first. I didn't like it. And the Creature used to get threats to her too because she didn't like Sunny. And it was all this stuff. But again, we like the shows. We're just talking about we're friends. The whole thing, these shows are friends, or you guys, mother and son, talking about a show you like. Yeah. You watch it. There's some things you don't like.
It's what we've done my whole life, really. Except now we're recording it and broadcasting it live on YouTube. Desperate Housewives, we used to watch every Sunday together and talk about it and analyze it and do what we do, but it just wasn't for public consumption. So, yes. It's fun. We're well practiced.
Yes, good. That's the whole point. So just people talking, and you say things you don't like certain couplings or certain this or certain storylines. Yeah. I mean, nothing's perfect, but I don't like for you. I don't hate watch shows. I don't.
Right.
I watch them.
I recognize that that's a valid way to consume entertainment. I know plenty of people that watch something and enjoy it through what they don't like about it. And it took a long time for me to understand that is a real way to consume entertainment, because it used to be very frustrating. I have a friend from wrestling who just, no matter what sci-fi thing came out, and he was a big sci-fi nerd and just loved everything and knew everything about everything, but hated every single movie or show or anything that came out. Any change to the comic book universe sent him on a tirade. Just all kinds of just not liking what he loves, but still loving it to death.
I can't do that. I was a Walking Dead fan. I got tired of it. I stopped watching it. I don't hate watching it.
Yeah. And if you're somebody that doesn't consume entertainment like that, it's hard to understand somebody that does consume entertainment like that. And it's really important, especially for me right now, given the day that I had on Twitter. It's very important for me to make sure that everybody understands that I don't invalidate anything. There is no wrong way to watch and engage with entertainment so long as you're entertained. My mom gave me two big pearls of wisdom growing up. One of them was, it's just TV. Because I used to go, I had a fit, every Star Trek cliffhanger. I'd be like, no, Captain Janeway's going to die, and I can't wait 3 months to find out what's going to happen next. Yes. It's just TV. I can't believe The Rock turned on Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm so mad. It's just TV.
Well, remember, Matt, careful with that. When you say that, I've said that many times over the years, and I was supposed to be condescending when I say that.
But it's not meant to be at all. Well, it's just, it's a separation TV. Of self and that.
Nope, it's TV. It's important. And my TV watching is important to me.
And it is. It's important to me too. It's important to me too. And it's important to me that you continue to watch it as well. Because if you don't watch it along with me watching it, then I don't get to watch it anymore.
Not true. That's a true statement right there. That's a very true statement right there. But you know what I'm saying? And so here's the deal. So on Twitter and stuff, Facebook, Instagram, it's all algorithms, right? So whoever you follow or whatever subject you follow, it's all you see.
Yes, very much so.
Now, and depending on how many followers you have, how many you follow, also determines what you see too. So for me, I'm very well rounded because I do so many different shows. So I'm part of like several different fandoms. Yeah, I follow stuff, but also I have a lot of followers, and I follow a lot of people. So I make sure I think for me, I see a wide range, a variety of opinions on, especially I would say about General Hospital. I see a wide range, but I see a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Like on TikTok, it's very curated. It's like you watch two things, and that's all you don't see nothing else. So people tell me stuff, and I go, I've never seen it before. Have you heard of it? Nope, I've never seen it. Like, it's very, very narrow. On Twitter, I will say I think I'm very well rounded, especially when it comes to subs, because I follow all four. I do all four, So with General Hospital, I see all the fandoms, all of them. I see all the hatred, all of them. Now for you, how you don't see it.
No. So I spend time on Twitter. I spend more time on Twitter than my mama does. My mom reads it more than posts to it. And for the most part, it's just scrolling my timeline after interacting and following GH accounts and conversations and using the hashtag GH so much in my own tweets that my timeline is very much just very broad-based hashtag GH.
Okay.
So when it comes to the deep dives into these independent fandoms, Millo and Sona and Vanna and all of these different sub fandoms, I'm not sure exactly what to call them.
You don't think called either yet. So,
not sub, because they're very important.
Yes.
I don't necessarily see a timeline full of hashtag Sprina. I don't see a timeline full of hashtag Vanna. I don't see a timeline full of hashtag anything other than hashtag GH. So I'm not really tuned in to the very specific critiques and commentaries on the very specific aspects of the show. I really only have like a 5,000 foot view of what's truly going on Twitter.
So is it mostly, I'm just curious for myself, is it mostly positive?
It's a big mix. It's a big mix. I'm going to say that it skews more heavily negative.
Are there certain fandoms you see more of? Like
I definitely see a lot of Carly, Sunny reaction and commentary. A lot of it.
How about Sprina? They're all over
Sprina, not so, I don't see so much Sprina. Really? I see a lot of independent Nicholas Chavez.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And then I also see a lot of it's very interesting how the algorithm decided I should watch this. I don't know why it decides what it does. But anytime the two Trinas interact with each other, I get like a full display of everything that goes on.
Oh wow, I don't.
Yeah,
that's so funny. I don't. Yeah, that's very interesting. Okay. Yeah, because I get a lot of Sprina fans. They're out there. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Sprina, not a lot of Vanna, but a lot of Sprina, a lot of Liz stuff, a lot of Carly.
Yeah. I would say heavily, mostly Carly is what I see the vast majority of on Twitter.
And Sona, you're right, but that's a big one of mine too.
Yeah.
And just general GH stuff. You're right, just general GH. Like
I don't see anything about the Ashfords really. Today I saw some stuff about Portia, so that's awesome. But generally speaking, I don't see a lot about the Ashfords. Maybe that has something to do with how I'm interacting with Twitter. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, because I feel like I'm very pro Ashford, and I tweet them all the time.
You're always
I tweet about them all the time, so I'm surprised that they're not showing me.
Yeah.
I don't know what anybody thinks about Amy. So
someone says this dude is a joke to say no Sprina. So you're saying, this is why he's starting already. So you're saying because he doesn't see Sprina that I don't say, but I mean I see a lot of Sprina on my page. But it really is depending on what you see, right? 1,000 Lautner. I mean, on your Twitter, do you see a lot of Sprina? Yes, you must see a lot of Sprina, but folks don't see a lot of certain things. I guess. I don't know. I know a little shade already. Started shady Tuesday, Monday already. Starting already. I guess. Okay.
And and then I don't know how to interpret that. I invalidated Sprina. I think Sprina's great.
Yeah,
I'm looking very much forward to them finally coming together.
Yeah, he likes it. He's not saying he doesn't like. They just say he doesn't see it.
I don't see a mess of it. But I also have a day job, and things that I do in my evening. I cook dinner and stuff, and so I'm not constantly on Twitter a bunch.
I do a lot of posting. I do a lot of posting.
Yeah,
and that's why I see stuff, because I'm posting stuff on there. I'm not always scrolling, but I do a lot of posting.
Yeah.
Best thing about Twitter, there's also Facebook groups, folks. I joined a lot of them so I can post. I don't really talk in them very much, but I do send posts and I see some exchange. But I don't really. I see some toxic stuff on those pages too. So it's not just Twitter, folks. It's also message boards, Reddit. My brother's in Reddit. He says it gets worse in Reddit. There's all kind. I don't even go on Reddit. I used to be on Reddit like years ago. I don't go on there anymore. But back to Twitter. I know it's whatever you put in is what you get back out of it. So I mean, in terms of what you see, I guess how it levels. But I know
maybe I need to like more tweets. I don't like very. Well,
that's the thing. I think it's what it is. See, what I do is I follow a lot of black people, and a lot of black girls love Sprina. They're Trina fans or Sprina fans. I got in trouble with them not too long ago too. So I know.
I just don't know how to operate my timeline. That's mostly what it is.
That's what it is. I think it's because they'll suggest a few things, but not always. Twitter doesn't always suggest. Other platforms will suggest, like Instagram recently has been really getting on my nerves. They really keep all these sponsored. They keep suggesting all these people. I'm like, as I'm scrolling, I go, is that my friend or not my friend? That's not my friend. Why am I looking at? I'm like, it's starting to bug me so that they're really trying to get me to follow all these people. It's like a little weird. I mean, maybe I'm maybe I'm benefiting from it also. I don't know. Maybe people are like, I'm tired of that James Lott Jr. dude. He's always with that crazy hair. He's always like, I mean, I don't know, but it's I've noticed on Instagram, I'm trying to distinguish who actually are my friends I'm following and like who they try to get me to follow. Because I'm liking stuff and go, wait a minute, I don't follow that person. Kind of weird. But Twitter itself, I totally get it. You don't, you see what you see, you don't see what you don't see. So for you. But I know for you, because early on we talked, you were very much about being very positive on the show and positive on Twitter.
Right.
So how's that going for you?
Hey, I mean, for the most part, it's fun. I like to engage in the negative aspects of the that I find the show that I don't, the parts of the show that I don't enjoy. I like to engage with them in a positive light as much as I possibly can. And for me, that's usually just through like nerdy discourse about why you don't like it or why I don't like it, like detailed. I like details. I don't like Sona because of how I felt about Carly and Sunny together. I don't like Sona because I just don't feel it between Cynthia Watros and Maurice Bernard the way that I felt it between Laura Wright and Maurice Bernard. Like, details are very important to me because without details, I can't change my mind. I can't really see your point of view. If all anybody ever has to say is, oh, you're wrong, how dare you say this, oh my God, whatever it is.
It's happening right now. So we got a person in here. I'm giving you lots of attention.
Yeah.
1,000 Lautner. For some reason, you're angry for some reason, Adam. For some reason, you don't have to be constantly on Twitter to see it. I have a job too. You have a podcast. I think you know your subject. I don't even know what that means. Oh. I don't. This is a great example of what's been happening to you today for some reason. Yeah. I'm wondering if this person is somebody you know from the Twitter. We have a different name on here, or something. But I'm like, why are you so put aside that he doesn't see Sprina tweets? I don't understand. See, this is a great example of that. Why is that?
And even then, like, you come and watch the show at some point too, and you will find that every week we say, "Don't come to us for facts. Do not come here for the full story. We don't know these people." So.
This is fair. I love it because this is exactly, you are giving us a great example of somebody who will attack. And when Ree's upset too. I like details too. 100%. So she's mad too about this, I guess, really. This is very interesting. I don't know what's going on. Let's just look at the water today. That it's upsetting. All he said was that he doesn't see the Sprina on his timeline a lot. Mm-hmm. That's legitimate. It depends on who you're following. I see it a lot because I follow a lot of folks who like the character, apparently. There's certain things I'm sure I don't see either.
I barely follow anyone.
I know. But I think it's definitely to do with your job. It's like, as long as you want. Here's our job. Let me tell you what our jobs are, since you don't know what they are. We watch the shows and we talk about the episodes. That's what our jobs are. If you want to go by job,
that's not even my job. That's what I do in my.
Right, exactly. You're doing it for fun. But we can go by and say job. So that's the point. It's like he's not discounting nobody. He's not saying there's no screen out there. He's just saying that he doesn't see all the tweets about it.
Yeah.
But what he does know is that it's a couple on the show. That's the most important part. Is when we come to the show. See, I always tell people, see, I have no problem. I'm shadier than you are. I don't give a fuck. I'll scream at people. Tell you how tired you are. That's how I am, because I've been doing this for so long. Here's the deal. When I come to a show, I make sure I know the episodes. Now, it's not my job to recap every single day that happens on our show. We tell you what happens, and we tell our opinions. That's what we do. And then you guys go, I like your opinion. I don't like your opinion, which is that's how it is. Mm-hmm. But I don't understand this, like in the chat room right now, I don't understand what the anger stuff's going on here. It's a term. You can explain to you why you're mad at him for, I don't know what he said that made you guys upset. I don't understand.
And these are the details that I was talking about. These are the details that I was talking about. Like, why are you upset?
Yeah, it's like,
please get back to me.
It's like no one's saying they're not around. He's saying he doesn't see it on his page. It's not an attack. He's being very condescending. he admitted he doesn't see the hashtags but GH. So he thinks that's condescending, apparently. I think he was trying to say that on his Twitter, that's all he follows. It's just the general GH hashtag, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's just a very broad umbrella covering of General Hospital. I see a little bit of everything, but when it comes to a deep, I see, anytime there's like subtweeting happening and stuff, I never know what anybody is ever talking about. That's how distanced I am away from the very fine, detailed nature of, I guess, the Twitter fandom. And I'll even take the fault on that for not being a Twitter expert before opening my mouth.
There you go. So he's not a Twitter expert. So does that make you feel bad? He's not trying to kind of say you think it makes. I don't. Again, I've been called names on my own show many times. People come into my chat room and say these. I'm like, I was called elitist. I was called these. I'm like, I know I'm not that, so I don't know what the fuck that means. That's not me. I'm very real and honest on my shows. But I'm like, I don't really give a shit about the people that heavily to be elitist about something, about a character or whatever. I'm like, no, I just mentioned Cardi's on too much. I like Sunny and Nina too. But I actually like them together. There are folks who hate them together. I like them together. It's very interesting. I hated Nixon Falls, but Part 6 of Falls I kind of liked. I had the actors on my show. I had Dan White on my show. I had on my show. I mean, I'm like, I always accept what they give it to me. They're like, that's silly. How is that silly? That's live. Please, I'm here for you to explain. Please let me know why you think that's silly. Because we want to know why you think that's silly. That's very curious. To me, Thousand Lautner, you just sound ridiculous to me at the moment. You sound silly to me at the moment. So come attack me. I don't give a fuck. But you sound silly to me. So I don't understand. I want to know what the fuck you're talking about. That's what I want to know. Because to me, you sound just an angry person who's looking for a fight, and I don't understand what the fight is. If he said something like, I hate Serena, blah, blah, then I can see what's going on. Then I would see why you'd be upset. But I'm like, what if I don't understand I don't understand this whole timeline here. I don't even get it. why you're upset at him for that? It makes, and that's what I'm saying. Twitter can make no sense sometimes.
It can make no sense, and the way that things can also spin out of control and become something that it originally even wasn't, is also an adventure. Because I don't know, because I don't know if people watch this thing and know what I tweeted. I don't know. Do I need to get into it? But
you just tweeted that you felt. I tweeted something too. Yeah, we're tweeting about how that Gwen's like sometimes comes get so she's talking. So I see what she's talking about. So I see what Gwen's talking about in her train of thought.
1,000%.
Thousand Lautner, I'm trying to figure out what's the problem with this person. I don't understand what the problem is. I'm like, just what. That something you said was condescending, and it made this person feel upset because you don't see all the hashtags. I don't understand what that's about. But for him, he was just saying his opinion on what he thinks of what types of fans there are that watch the show. Because we all know there's different types of fandoms. There are casual viewers, which you mentioned,
right?
And you were kind of giving an example, which you thought of was a casual viewer. There's also people who are legacy viewers. And you gave an example on that. Now, I'm very straightforward. I always say on my tweets, there are crazy folks and there are folks who are not crazy. There's only two kinds. I'm sorry.
You see two. I see the many layers of the fandom.
You guys are all Candace Mack, same thing. There's three. There's no three. You guys are all they're being nice. I think there are people who are crazy and people who are not crazy. That's the problem with fans. That's in all fandoms, not just GH. That's all fandoms. And so I think there are some folks who take it so seriously that it's just like they don't see anything else. But there's others, like there's many of us out there who watch the shows. We like it. We can go along with what's going on. We like certain things. We don't like certain things. And life goes on. But if you suggest anything, and this is what he's finding out, if you suggest anything, you can get in trouble by somebody. That's what I saw his timeline. You got attacked by several people that I know. I know some people who attacked you. I know them online, and you got attacked. And normally you don't. I always get attacked all the time, but normally you don't. So it's very interesting.
Like you said at the top of this thing, it's very we engage with a very positive opinion and a positive spin on things on General Hospital. We find what we enjoy and pretty much ignore what we're not liking. That's how we approach it.
That's how they are. Seriously, my channel, Dish and Days, Tony's channel, we're way shadier. We are way calling things out. But seriously, we spell it out. I name names. I don't give. I do all the stuff. I don't care. But I also have the stars of the show on my show. They know they're safe when they come to my shows. We
Yeah.
have a great time. We have fun. You know, I mean, I love the genre. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Texas Rangers fan. There seems to be a lot of short-term feelings these days. We used to see it. That's a new trend. Well, COVID. That's what's happening. People are getting sick.
People getting sick have to stay upset for a little while. Come on back.
They're hurting themselves. So that happens.
At least the whole production isn't getting shut down anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's good.
Yeah.
That's it. But I'm just saying.
But yeah. So the Twitter experience is pretty new and unique for me. What happened today? And yeah, it was just only because I tweeted out an opinion of how I thought, you know, there was different levels of fans, and if I gave examples like you had said, but somehow, some way throughout the conversation, the retweets, the subtweets, the gifs and reactions and such, it became less of me describing a type of fan and more gatekeeping and describing what a real fan is. But if you were to go back to the original tweet, at least I don't feel as though I was comparing, contrasting, saying this one's better, this one's less valid, anything like that. I was just saying, you know, understand the type of fan that you are, because I think that's important when you're engaging with the show that you are, especially right now. And this whole thing was inspired through how upset people are that Marcus Coloma said they don't care what people have to say specifically on Twitter. And I think it's important to understand how much I don't know how to say this without getting in more trouble.
I'll say, no, you stop. Let me say it. Here's the folks. I say it all the time I show. I'll take all the heat. That's what I say all the time I show. They don't give a fuck about what you think. They don't. They don't look at Twitter. They don't look at message boards. They don't look at Reddit. They don't give a shit. What they think is they're doing a good job. That's what they think. That's what they think. They put out a show. They think they're putting out a good show. Now, we can agree maybe it's not good. I feel there's some stuff that's going on. But the whole point is they think they're putting on a good show. They're not trying to ruin the show. They're not trying to ruin it, get off the air. They think they're making choices that work. Now, we all know people can make mistakes. There can be bad writing and all that kind of stuff that happens. But that's what they're doing. So that's what they're saying. So he's commenting on this stuff, which we also know whatever we say can be taken however you guys want to take it. We know that.
It really is more how you read it than how I write it.
Right. I completely accept that. I mean, I feel like, I've been doing this for so long. I'm like, okay, think whatever you want. I know what my impression, I know what I mean. I know what I'm saying. And you guys know this, I'm very honest and transparent. I just say how I feel. And I just think that same for him and Kat actually are the nicest ones of all the soaps that do soap press stuff. They're actually the nicer ones. There's some folks worse than I am. Go to the chat. Go to Daytime Confidential. They're worse than I am. They will completely just shatter people on these shows. They write things on Twitter I see all the time. I can name some names right now that are just like, oh my God, they write stuff that I would never say. Even I wouldn't say. And I'm saying, but actually, Matt and Kat are actually the nicest folks. It's you know. And so one thing. Okay, so it brings up a question. It's not you. It's your guest. I'm not fighting. How can you be a podcast but not see all the hashtags? Very easily, that can totally happen. You don't see Sprina because you didn't see the hashtag short-sighted. No, he's saying he doesn't see the Sprina comments because he doesn't see the Sprina hashtags. It's just not coming up for him, right? I watched
the show, so I am very familiar with Sprina. Now that might have sounded condescending.
He knows who Sprina is. He's a fan. He's like, it's only why I'm like, but I mean, here's the thing. There are a lot of soap press who are not on Twitter. Some of my co-hosts are not on Twitter. People think Twitter is everything, and it really isn't. Twitter actually is a small, just loud part. And I have to remind myself that too, because sometimes it can affect change because it's so loud. But literally, I know a lot of folks aren't on Twitter.
I think I might have figured something out here. I'm thinking a lot about what Thousand Lautner is having to say specifically. How can you be a podcast but not see all the hashtags?
Okay.
I think that Lautner and maybe some other people too are expecting me, since I am a host of a podcast, to be coming at this from a more journalistic standpoint.
Oh yeah, I'm not
with deep research and heavy notes and deep dives into Twitter to find out what people are thinking, so I can have a well-educated opinion on what the rest of the world thinks about what General Hospital is doing. But that's not the point of the 10th floor. The point of the 10th floor is a conversation that I have every week with my mom about General Hospital. it's not about how much I know about Sprina. It's not about how much history of the show that I can recall and remember, and the details about Tony and Frisco Jones and their relationship with each other. And like, I don't know any of that, but that's not the point of the 10th floor. The point of the 10th floor is I get to talk to my mom every week.
Yeah,
I think that's an important perspective.
Well, no, you bring up a good point, and this is for $1,000. I think, yeah, they look at us as experts. So they do. They come to us as experts. I am an expert because I have watched the shows for years. I am known as a soap historian. That was my whole thing. So I do know. But again, I don't think any podcaster, as long as they know the material, like the show themselves, if you say I'm going to talk about this episodes for this week, as long as you know what you're talking about those episodes, that's your job. Anything else is extra. I think anything else is just extra. And for me, I don't read everything on Twitter either, but it just happens I see some stuff on Twitter and I comment. But I think it's okay not to know everything that's going on social media. Like I said, I have hosts that are not even on social media. They don't even go. I have two they're not even on there.
For me, it's kind of the fun too, because my mom knows a lot more about the show than I do, and so having that conversation, her being able to bring up the history and the experience of being able to watch that stuff decades ago is valuable to the conversation. And she also sees a different side of Twitter than I do on occasion as well. And she's a little more official on it. Like, she'll look at the official GH accounts and such, and less about what the fans are having to say. And so she's able to like give me little tidbits of news and such that I knew nothing about.
Today's Rangers fan brings up pick your fights. I think there are more important issues to discuss. Well, always, right. But here's the thing, Texas Rangers fam. For those of us who are in the public eye, who put out this stuff, social media is fandoms are very important. They are very important to our success. Literally, if you guys didn't come on here, I would be talking to myself. And I admit that all the time. I mean, I'd be sitting here just talking to 1-2 people. I have 11 folks watching at 8:30 at night in LA. That's great. I mean, there's times, my show my shows on Sundays, we get between, 30 and 200 people who watch live. But I mean, seriously, that took 7 years just to get there. I mean, it took us a long time. We built the fans. I've always interacted with the fans. So fandoms are actually very important issues for us to discuss sometimes, because it does come up for us. See, you're sitting here just, you're a fan just tweeting or whatever on here. We get the attacks. Mm-hmm. We get the ones who get the attacks because we put ourselves out there. So for me, every once in a while, I do discuss these issues because it is something for us, for the actors. There are actors who are leaving Twitter because they're getting mobbed and bullied. There are actresses who told me, you can't tag me in a post because I have stalkers who are coming after me on Instagram. Like, it's fandoms, Twitter, so we can't make it go away. It's there. And we can't really minimize it either because it's there. So I think, I totally agree with you. There's all kinds of, and on this show, Texas, I discuss race, I discuss sexuality, I discuss all kinds of stuff on this show with the Soaps all the time. But this is something that I think is interesting for Matt because he's never had this really happen to him before. He's kind of newer to Twitter in this form. And he's not alone. There are other folks who are new to Twitter too, and just don't really, they don't engage like some of us do. Gwen says she's not even on Twitter, and she's not even on Twitter. That's what I'm saying. There's folks who are not even on Twitter. And it's like, so this is a new thing. And even doing this chat role, it's a new thing for folks too. Not everybody comments. Some people just watch. I think people watch, a few of you are talking. So it's one of those kind of things. It's like, it's not about just picking your fights. It's true in some cases, but also I think all of this is interesting to discuss because I do love the fans. I do. I mean, all the craziness that goes on. I'm like, I talk to you guys all the time. I tell you guys stuff. We try to work. I try to get guests for you, all this kind of thing. But we also know there's a crazy side to it that actors are having to deal with, and producers and writers and us. We have to deal with it also. So it's an important issue for us. And so that's kind of thing. So it's not we don't harp on it every day all the time, but just every once in a while, we're going to talk about it. And I think it's warranted. He had a day-to-day where he was recently really attacked. And yes, you can go, don't worry about it. This is a learning moment for him too, in terms of this is how it can be. This is totally how. Like I said, I broke the Twitterverse a couple weeks ago, but my one question went for 3 days. It went on for 3 days. I was attacked for 3 days, but life went on. Did I melt? Did I die? No, life went on. I mean, I was like, I'll be fine. I went on a 3-day back and forth with somebody on YouTube the other day for my one call to heart. We went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I was like, it's for fun. I'm not doing anything. So I did it. But did I crumble? Nah, life goes on. I got a thick skin anyway, but I thought it was interesting that he was going through a day today where people were just taking his words and twisting them. And I thought this would be an interesting topic to talk about in terms of what does that mean? Because we are putting out content. We're choosing to be out there.
Yeah. And I might have gotten a little emotional with a response here or there because I'm a human being, right? But there was some talk about and this leads into actually buying this microphone and putting myself out there and saying these things and recording it for the last 3 years and having a library of content for people to go back to and all of that. If you want to check out the 10th Floor podcast, please do.
Check it out.
Right now, do it. Well, not now, but when we're done.
Not now, but afterwards.
Yeah. There was the word authority being put around, what makes you an authority or anything like that. And, I might have said something along the lines of me having the microphone at the podcast and analyzing it in a deep way over the last 3 years. And, being able to talk to people who actually create for the show does lend me a little bit of credence in the opinion that I might have. That wasn't taken well. But I do want to say that the only difference between me thinking that versus you and you not thinking that is the fact that you don't have one of these. Go get one. Go get one and do it. I'd listen. I'm interested.
He's being nice. So here's my take on it. My thing is, I know what I know, folks, because I work in the industry. I know the friends. I know people behind the scenes. People think they know stuff. And it's like, nah, you know what you're talking about. People spread rumors, will say things. I'm like, that's not true. I am friends with many folks in the industry. So when I speak on something, I only speak on something that I know. And I speak on things that I know. And I think, and it makes me an authority on certain things, yes, because I work in the industry. I know some of the folks. I know people behind the scenes. I know what people are making. I know how things are run. I know how far in advance they film. I don't know every single thing, but there are things I do know. Krista Gary says she likes both our shows.
Just like, I mean, I don't know near as much as you, but I am plugged in to a degree. I can get a pulse on things here or there, and I can't, and I'm not even saying that other people can't. I'm just saying that I do.
Well, the thing is, to me, I love a discussion. If you know something, there's been times people know stuff that I don't know. I'm like, tell me something I don't know.
Open my mind. Open my mind. Tell me why my breakdown of fandom is wrong. Don't just say that it is.
Right. I think some people just enjoy hijacking discussion or a podcast. That's true too. That is true. But now some lawyers get mad at her hijacking. He said it. No one can respond. But you guys can fight that one out. You can always respond. That's fine. We're just saying
hijacking. I don't know.
But they both. She said it, but then he's or 1,000 lawyers.
That's not for me to comment on. I don't have a horse in this race.
Yeah, they're talking to her, so it's not talking to us. It's talking to her. Say no, you can respond. I mean, you can always respond. That's the thing. It's just that we're talking about the responses we get sometimes. We always wonder where they come from because we know what our intention is when we say something out there. And yes, I will say this. I do know that sometimes text, messaging, and tweeting can't always get the emotion sometimes. I get that. Sometimes you can't. That's true. Or someone's intent sometimes. But I usually know what my intent is when I tweet something out. If I'm trying to be shady, I fully am shady. If I'm trying to be nice and asking a certain question, which a couple of times I really am not being shady, I'm just asking a question, and I get attacked without an answer. I'm like, give me an answer. Give me an answer. That's that's kind of thing. And it's but yeah, just no, yeah. I mean, I don't think. I mean, I think what Texas Ranger fan is saying is sometimes we'll be talking about a subject and people will come in and make it something so like, where did that come from?
Mm-hmm.
That's what Texas Ranger fan is trying to say, kind of like, and all of a sudden that person's upset. So now we're focusing on that person being upset about something that we're like, no, we never said that, or where did that come from, or where that happened. Like, we're kind of like, it's like most state of mind goes to Tommy Tights, let's stay planned the way he wanted to go in. That's a topic that's not steady planned. Okay. I love his show. I love state of mind. I mean, all podcasts are different. All podcasts, there is no rule to podcasting. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Mm-hmm.
You can come on and be bitchy for 10 minutes straight if you want to on a podcast. There's an audience for it. I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
There's an audience who love to hear it. You could be like, I want to do a detailed breakdown day by day of a show. You do it that way. You can do an overview a week. You can do just, I want to talk about 2 characters a week. That podcasting is whatever you want to make it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, there is no rules to podcasting at all. And you have a right as consumers or people who listen to go, I don't really care for that. Or I do like this one. But I won't have anybody tell me how to do a show. No one's going to tell James Lott Jr. how to run any of his shows.
Well, luckily, nobody's told me that yet.
Fuck I want. I will talk however I want to. If I want to talk about one subject all night long, then tune out. Go somewhere else. Talk to somebody else. See you later. I'm going to do whatever I want. These are my shows. I'm not going to anybody tell me what to do. But you have a million choices. You have a million choices out there. There's a lot of GH content out there, like a lot of them out there. And you can find one that's good for you because you're right to do that. You're right to go, I don't care for JSB Spotlight, but I like Sisters in general. They're great, or Pier 54. They're good too. Those girls are good too. Like there's folks who
they have 2 styles of podcasts. They have their weekly reaction, and then they also have the biographies of the characters.
Yeah. And and State of Mind is a whole different type of show. It's 2 people talking, and it's more of an interview style about life. Now it's not a recap or after show. It's a whole different. I do interview shows. It's a whole different world. I love those. And State of Mind is the bomb. I love State of Mind. I'm totally hooked. People want to get me on the show. I'm trying to get on the show, I guess. Tell my story.
Drive up to Martinez.
I don't write. If it doesn't interest me, I don't watch.
Some podcasts are more slanted, so if it isn't for me, I'll check in what it interests me. Hey, that's all. See, just validity everywhere, everybody. However you want to do it is okay.
But you brings up a good point. There's some podcasts that are super Sunny heavy. They love Sunny. And I'm sure if you're a Sunny dissenter, you would hate that podcast. Sunday Night Shift is good, but it isn't live. I like the live shows. And there's that component. Not all of them do them live. I do live. He does live. Not all of them do live. A lot of them just record and put it out there. We actually have this exchange with the chat roll and everything. And there are folks, we used to have phone calls. And after us, we used to have phone calls at the end. Thank God we don't. And if folks get mad at me, I say that. I don't want phone calls again because people are fucked up when they try to call. You go, hi, you're talking to chat room all night long. You get on and go,
people don't even call into radio stations anymore. It's all text.
It's all text. It's exactly. So I was like, no phone calls, but we do this chat roll. I do this live with the chat roll. So you guys come in and talk to each other and talk to us. I love it. It's
been a great addition to our podcast because we used to just do audio only and just stick it up on podcasters everywhere. But when we made the transition to live YouTube, it became the 10th floor with Matt, Cat, and Chat, pretty much. Like a third host.
Yes, it's every podcast has its own style, and that's the thing. And you have a right to go, I don't like that style. And I'm sure I've lost some folks. And there are folks, I know folks that hate watch my shows. I know they do. I know exactly who they are, and they hate watch my shows.
And it makes me laugh. Hard to hate watch mine.
They're gonna start hate watching yours now too. They're gonna start hate watching yours. I think it's hilarious. I'm like, you're watching me still. I'm like, I'm not changing anytime soon.
Listen, y'all. I mean, I'm happy for the interaction. I like talking about GH. And I clearly I touched a nerve. And I am sorry for touching nerves. If I could go back and remove a call to action from the top of the tweet, I probably would. Would you remove it? Really, at this point, I would remove the call to action because I said, y'all need to, figure out what kind of fan you are, which to me was just a figure of speech. I didn't realize that I was telling somebody what to do. So if I can go back and take that away, I would, and just be like, boom, boom, boom. Here's how we see the fandom. Yeah.
Like tonight, this is not a recap show. I'm not talking about the GH. I'm not talking what happened on General Hospital. This is just we're actually talking about fandoms and Twitter. And every tweet that I put out, I stand by. I would not take any of them down. It's just how I put them out there. I don't do verbal diarrhea. I put out what I want to put out. And there's a thought why I put it out there. And sometimes I do it for shits and giggles to see what people are going to do. And sometimes I really am kind of curious to hear what you have to say. And some folks are really. I want to do another side of this. I put this tweet out tonight also. There are some fans who are hilarious. This is not General Hospital. For Bold and the Beautiful, there's this chick who pretends she's Sheila Carter, which is the big villain on the show, and she goes by Sheila Carter. Her tweets as Sheila are hilarious. They're hilarious. She literally tweets up to date what's happening on the show as if she is Sheila. I laugh all. The interactions are hilarious. There's a guy who's pretending he's her son on the show. He's like, "Mom, I wish you wouldn't kill people." It's hilarious. It's just like it's the most hilarious thing on earth. This guy Matt Hanvey, who's big on both Beautiful Y&R, my friend, who does re-edits of videos from scenes with his own voice. Hilarious, clever, hilarious. I'm getting him some shout outs. There's some funny shit on Twitter actually also, and clever stuff where people actually are having discussions about the shows. They're not name calling. No one's getting upset. It's just like, yeah, we all see the one scene that everybody, I laugh every time. The one scene I think everyone could agree on that we all collectively hated and went, ew, was Dick and Esme. That was the only time I think we all came together as a GH family and we collectively went, ugh.
It was delightfully disgusting.
Oh, it was. And every time they showed flashbacks to it, I just chuckled. Like an angel got its wings. Every time they showed another flashback. I think that was a collective, like everyone agreed. Like everyone, Republican.
All the right bit of nasty.
Yeah, no one liked it. No one liked it. No one liked it. And this chat room, did any of you guys like the scene between Nicholas and them having sex? Probably not. I would tend to think this chat room probably agrees also that it was a horrible. It was disgusting. It was weird. It was weird.
It was supposed to be.
Exactly. It was supposed to be. I keep saying Avery Pohl plays is so wonderful. Plays Esme. She's supposed to be hated. The problem is the pacing. That's what everybody's getting upset about. But her acting it's on point.
Yeah, I'll agree. Yes, the pacing needs work.
Yeah, just pacing. But see exactly. Exactly. I'm saying that's the one time I think all GH fans came together collectively was like, even Peter. There were some Peter supporters. I wanted to shoot them, but that's another story.
There were some Peter supporters.
There was. I was like, really? I remember one side of my chat, I was like, are there any Peter supporters in here? And literally like 10 people were like, yeah. I'm like, you are? I want to cry. I want to eat my hair.
Actually, Wes Ramsey and Peter was the first little almost bit of trouble that I got on Twitter. I made a GIF. Who's gonna murder Peter GIF? And I put a bunch of different characters in, and he would click on it. It would stop on somebody random. Yeah. And I tagged Wes Ramsey in it, not realizing that tagging actors is a faux pas.
Oh, you didn't know that? Okay.
In the Twitter world. So I didn't realize it at the time. I was brand spanking new. So I tagged him in it, saying, who's going to kill Peter at Wes Ramsey? But Wes Ramsey like retweeted it and like had a good time with it and understood that it was a joke, you know? But there were other people like subtweets and all that going, I can't believe he's throwing this in the actor's face. How dare he taunt the end of the character to the actor like that? How dare he mention him? And it's an interesting ride. And so I'm constantly surprised with what I get in trouble with.
Yes. Wes Ramsey was actually a guest on the GH Report, not when I was on there. Right. People were like, was he on your show? He was on when I wasn't part of the show. So yeah, I didn't talk. He didn't want to talk to me. This 1,000 Lana guy's back. Speaking of Esme, Nick, didn't your guest make live the age difference on Twitter? Did you?
Probably.
Yeah, I'm like, and here's I'm like, okay, I don't. That's something. Okay, so I'll say something. So I got in trouble when they introduced. What's his name? The hot cop.
Rory.
When Rory first came on, had no lines. Everybody was licking his ass when he first came on. He had no lines. They were like, Trina's new man already. I saw that he was in his early 30s, married with a child, and the original actress, Cindy McKay, was like 19. And all I said was, would you want your 19-year-old to be with a 30-something-year-old guy? Oh, I got in trouble. People went after me for weeks on that one. So that's not a lot of you as you are talking about that. I talked about the age. I thought it was disgusting. I said I wouldn't want my 19-year-old daughter with a 30-something-year-old man. I know on soaps and shows they play he has a young face. Clearly he is part of this. He is for Trina, obviously. Base. Well, you see what happened a few weeks later with him. Racism. But my thing is, I was just asking a question, like, are you okay with it? But it seemed like people wanted them together so bad, they were willing to let them go. They thought he was hot. I mean, what if he wasn't hot? would you think the same thing? That was my whole
what
thing.
What if Bradford Anderson came out as a
racist? Exactly. So yeah, he probably did make fun of I made fun of the age difference on Twitter, I'm sure.
And Bradford will be the first person also to be like, I don't know how I got a soap job. Okay, so don't take that as anything.
Yeah.
I probably made fun of made light of the age difference between Nick and Esme, because that was the entire point of the scene. Me saying that it's delightfully nasty doesn't mean I'm like, oh yeah, this is so hot, let me get in on this. No, I just recognize it for the television show.
That's
that I'm watching.
Stefan's Catherine's teenager. That's a good thing. Yeah, I'm like, sure. I guess
it's gross. It's supposed to be gross.
It's supposed to be gross.
It's supposed to be. And it was absolutely nasty. But I don't think that it's some sort of slight against morality. I don't think that it's some greater broad stroke of where society is, and this is how we're putting on TV. How dare us? I don't feel that. So if you feel I should, I don't know what to say.
It's more of she's with Spencer. She's supposed to be young. He's older. But like we say, you put in a room with a 19-year-old. What would you do? Probably kind of, that's kind of thing. I guess it's kind of like that's. Yeah. I don't have a favorite GH character, a couple at the moment, because they don't do romance they're not doing romance that well right now for me to have a favorite couple. There are couples I think have potential, and couples that could be wonderful. Couples they show off, they're mostly off screen. Like I love Liesl and Scott and all that kind of stuff. They don't really show couples that much.
But the best couples aren't even actually truly together yet.
Right. It's like it's kind of hard for me to pick a fair GH couple, because I'm like,
because I would say Brooklyn and Chase. In my eyes, they're together. They just haven't said so to each other.
Oh, that pacing is so long too. It's like there's like potential there. It's right there. Drew's running around with nobody, and Cam Matheson is hot. So why is he with anybody? We never see Cam and Josh together anymore. They're fighting because of the old Trina. So I'm like, there's a lot of supposedly couples on the show, but you mean favorite GH? I'm sorry, I read that wrong. Favorite GH couple moments. That's too many for you to think about. But I was like, I thought you meant the GH. I'm sorry, Karis, I read that wrong. I had my glasses on.
At the moment,
there's a lot. There's 55 years of that show. I can't even, or 60 years of that show.
Liz and Lucky in the boxcar.
Oh my God, listen, Lucky. That's a lot. I know. I go back to Luke and Laura. I go back to Laura and Scotty. I watched it back then. So back then.
Honestly, I'll tell you what my favorite just GH moment of the last couple of years for me has been.
Okay.
Man, I don't know. Am I gonna make friends or enemies with this? I don't know. But it's when Alexis confronted her younger self in that whole Alexis themed episode. Just at the very end there. She was like talking about her daughters being the advocate and the fighter and stuff. I thought that was wonderful.
And see, that's why we watched in our hospital. We all have our different opinions.
See.
My favorite parts of the last few years, this line makes me laugh every time I've seen it. It's Nell, everyone's favorite character. My girl Chloe Lanier, my friend, who I just talked to yesterday. Chloe's a great girl. Chloe, when Nell is being confronted, and it finally comes out with who she is, and she quote unquote slept with Sonny, and Michael goes, she goes, yeah, you just gave my kidney away. You just took my kidney and get away. And Michael goes, do you have any proof? I only have one kidney. That's the best line of the whole episode. She goes, I only have one kidney. I'm like, that's hilarious. That if it could have been a comedy, that would have been hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, do you have any proof? I only have one kidney. The way she looked at it and said it, it was just like, oh my God. And then my second favorite line, of course, is, you slept with your mother's husband, and I slept with yours. What goes around comes around, bitch. And then slaps her. I love that line too. When she goes, do you have any proof? I only have one kidney.
I have one kidney. Let's see. And then there was like Cyrus's debut. They did this big musical montage of him getting let out of Pentonville, and then Laura was all freaked out. And then it kind of, I love Cyrus Renell so much. Can't wait for him to come back. Anyway, we're totally off topic now. Maybe it's time for me to get back on that elevator.
He's gonna go in the elevator. Things are coming down. We had some shade in the chat room. I don't know what I think another person left. I started yelling at them. They left. But here's my thing. We put these shows out, whether it's a GH30 News Live or a 10-4 GH Live on a Sunday or a spotlight or an interview or whatever. We actually like doing this. We like doing these. We do. We actually like fans. We want fans. We like fans. We want to make sure everybody's okay. We understand everybody doesn't like everything. We understand that also. It's completely your rights not to like everything. We get it. We agree there's some problems with the show. We totally
There is nobody on this planet, even Frank Valentini himself, that is going to say this is a perfect show.
No, not at all. We all agree with you. It's not. There's some stuff that's wrong with the show. But it's just the attacks. As soon as we get attacked for things, we're not sharing why we're getting attacked. That's always the confusing part. I'm like, if you could say, well, James, I didn't like the way you said this. Okay, well, I got that. Whether I apologize or not, on the story, but I'm like, okay, I get that. But sometimes we have people take our words or put words in our mouth or accuse us of stuff that I'm like, where'd that come from? I don't know where that came from. Like, I never said that. I never intimated that. And also, we're not gonna be told how to do our shows. Everybody does their show differently. There is no rules. I'm gonna do my shows however the fuck I want. That is how it's gonna be. And you guys either watch it or don't watch it. That's how I look at it. I just watch it or don't. That's your right to exercise that. That's the thing. But I'm not gonna have anybody tell me how to do my shows. That's just not how that works. So that's the thing. Watch 10-4 GH on Sundays at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on their channel, 10-4 GH. Go ahead and tap that on there. If you want to know some more about them, they were on our show last year. So you can just go GH Spotlight, 10-4 GH, Matt and Kat. Kat was on separately once too, if you want to see her on there. She was on hilarious in that too. Again, on GH Spotlight. We are returning July 10th. After 3 months off the air, the Shady Soap Block is coming back.
Didn't realize it had been so long.
Yes, I couldn't do it anymore. I was dry, I had nothing left to give. But now I'm ready to give back to the soap community. That is 11 o'clock, Wide on Me Spotlight, 12 o'clock, Bon Vivo Me Spotlight, and 1 o'clock, me and Frank Rand doing the GH Me Spotlight that just celebrated 7 years on the air. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll be back. And you guys, take care of yourselves and try